Hi, everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So, there's this news story that is floating around on TikTok that I saw of this passport bro whose father has gone to the news because he claims that his son is missing. He can't contact him after his son left to the Dominican Republic to look for his wife because he went to the Dominica, got married to her, brought her back to the US. And one day he went to work, he came back, the house was cleared and the lady was nowhere to be found. And he couldn't contact her because she blocked him. So he's gone back to the Dominica to look for her. And since he left, his dad is claiming that he's not heard from him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into that story and then I'm going to get into the definition of a passport bro. And this honest guy who actually now understands what a passport bro really means. So let's get into those three videos and I'm going to come back and talk a little bit.
He likes to talk. He likes to tell me what he's doing, send me videos of where he's going.
Marcus Forrester says he and his son Jason, 38, voice texted each other every day and many times a day, especially after Jason moved from Beltsville, Maryland to Miami, Florida. Frequent trips to the Dominican Republic led to love and then marriage to a woman Jason met there.
He met the parents and so on. They got married in DR and he started making arrangements to get her to come here legally. And that did happen. She got a visa.
Forrester says Jason and his new bride struggled a bit as they transitioned from a long-distance relationship to sharing a home. Then something unexpected and shocking happened.
One day he came back from work and the apartment was cleaned out. She left and disappeared.
Forrester says his son was heartbroken when his wife refused to return his calls, then blocked him. He says Jason decided to fly to the Dominican Republic to talk with her family, hoping they would help convince her to return to the marriage. But after the phone call from the airport 2 weeks ago, Marcus Forrester says no one, not his family or friends, has heard from Jason. Calls to the Dominican embassy have produced no helpful information, he says.
We're just very, very concerned and hoping and praying that he shows up some way, somehow. But the reality of it is could be even worse.
Majority of black men, though, traveling to Latin countries like Dominican Republic or Colombia. Because of the internet and how Americans have no shame or no chill, these passport bros are actually going online and sharing their story for all of us to see. And the reason why that they're going over there. And one of the number one reasons you hear from American men why they travel abroad for whatever reason, to date or whatever, is because women abroad are more traditional than American women. But others would argue that these men are traveling to countries where the term women's rights or women's rights is non-existent. So they may not know or feel comfortable expressing their rights or how they feel about being in certain situations. But at the end of the day, this has been going on for decades. Most of these foreign countries are aware, and I don't see it slowing down no time soon.
So I was in Colombia for a few days, and my experience made me realize why the passport bros is a thing. And it's because they get to live life as the rich for a few days. They're in a country where the economy, where the cost of living is so low that the money they make in America allows them to live a life of luxury for a couple of days and experience the experiences that rich people have with regular people when those regular people are aware that they have money. And I got caught up in it for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I got caught up in it for a little bit. Like that feeling of people just really just feeding into you, doing whatever, because they know you have money and you could potentially give it to them. And just like trying their best to like entertain you. And it's kind of like a drug. And I could kind of understand why these rich people just abuse it. And I understand why these guys go to these places so often, because like it's euphoric in a sense. But I'm so glad, thank God I caught myself before I really got caught up in it. And I said to myself, this is not genuine. This is not genuine love, energy, feelings that, these people feel for me. They're just trying to get something out of me, which is money. And I don't understand how people could live like that. You know, how you could mentally get through life not knowing who genuinely is happy to be around you for just you, who wants to be with you, spend time with you, love you for you, not just what you can give them. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's a sad living, man. I don't know how people really enjoy that shit.
Now, I don't know why so many men are so deluded over this whole passport bro thing. I don't know why they believe that, the women overseas are in love with them, they want to start a family with them and so on. I don't know why they have that kind of mindset. It took him a while to get to that place and realize that it was because of the money. It was because of the things that he was doing for these ladies, overseas. That's why they liked him. I don't know. To be honest, at this point, I don't know what to say, okay? But in the case of that guy whose father claims that he's missing, someone came out to leave a comment saying that the man has come out to say that his son is safe, but then he's not giving any updates on what actually went down and how he knows that he's safe. So I don't know how true that is, okay? Honestly, it could be anything, because I'm thinking, like, what will make the lady pack her bags and leave? What will make her pack her bags and leave? Someone left a comment saying that she probably found somebody and, probably knew people in the US already, made their connections and all that, and was planning to leave him anyway. That could be true too. All I could think about is that maybe she's come to the United States now. Maybe she doesn't have any friends or family here. Maybe she feels isolated and he keeps leaving her and doing whatever he wants to do. You know how men can be when they do things for you. They can use that power over you and make you feel like you're worthless because they brought you, abroad. At least from my experiences and some of the stories that I've heard, most of these guys will go there, they'll bring these women here and then they start controlling them. And the other thing I can think about is maybe she's come to that place where she is realizing that not only now that she has to work and pay half of the bills, you're still expecting her to be as submissive as she was back in the Dominican Republic. Okay, so now she has to go to work because your earnings alone can't provide for the two of you, and she has to go and work too, and so on and so forth. And then when she comes back, you expect her to be the same woman that she was. I have said it in older videos and I'll keep saying it again. If you want these things to work, let them remain where you found them. Okay, because the thing is, when you bring them over, they are going to become the same like the Western women you are running away from. And you guys don't realize that it's the system. It's not the women in the West. It's the system that is working against you. Okay, but hey, it is what it is at this point in time. If you F around, you're going to find out. Okay, it will either come sooner for you or it will come later for you, but somehow there's going to be a finding out stage. Okay, where you realize that it wasn't about love, it wasn't about anything. It was about what you can provide. The same discussion that you're having with the Western women. All right. I've seen so many stories of some of these guys ending up going missing, being unalive, but they won't learn. Some of them understand why they go there. To be honest, most of them understand why they go there. They go there for the cheap sex, and to exploit the women over there, and they know what they go there for, all right? But for others who are of this mindset because they believe all these men who come online and tell them you're going to find women who will love you and so on and so forth, and they don't do any research about the whole situation, they go there with that kind of mindset. But then the women over there have also learned that most of you come there for their bodies. So guess what is going to happen?
I wonder if passport bros realise that the women that they go after in Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, Latin America, parts of Africa are not as stupid as they think. There's been an absolute uptick of young men who are coming online and encouraging other men with respectable passports to travel to other countries and find women who are perceived as less masculine, less argumentative, more obedient and more feminine. However, to a normal person, what this translates to is, I'm using my passport to exert financial and socio-economic control over more vulnerable populations of women. They are easiest to control, so therefore it is easier for me to get a girlfriend who does everything I want. in these countries. What these passport bros don't realise is that they're setting themselves up for pure failure whilst trying to finesse a group of women that they originally perceived as less intelligent, less clued on and less progressive, whilst dragging a lot of other men along with them in their endeavours to encourage this new trend. Now, I'm not saying that love beyond borders doesn't exist. Go wherever you want, travel, live your best life, meet whoever you want to meet, and love whoever you want to love, regardless of what country they're in. But make sure you're doing it for the right intentions. What I found is that men who normally go across the borders to meet women for the wrong intentions are the ones that wind themselves up in a lot of trouble. Which is why I have no sympathy at all for content creators like this.
I'm 36 years old and the girl in this video is 19, and the reason why I like younger women is because they're a lot more impressionable and malleable than older women. For example, you can see this girl has a nose ring. Well, she had a nose ring. That's right. By the third day, I was already able to convince her that piercings are dumb and she got rid of it. She also had some tattoos on her lower back, which are scheduled for removal as well.
At this point, this man is not looking for love. He's looking for someone to control, and he's doing this for the wrong reasons. He's doing all this whilst deluding himself into believing that this beautiful 19-year-old Brazilian girl actually loves him for who he is and not for what he has. A lot of these passport bros spout the rhetoric that Western women are too demanding, they're too financially driven, they're difficult to please, they're gold diggers. But in this case, what are you doing here? You're literally leading with your passport and your socioeconomic status. Basically leading with your money. And nobody, regardless of what country, ethnic origin or upbringing they're from, wants to feel like they're being bought. So a lot of these women are actually turning their game head on and finessing these men. A few years ago, a number of American passport bros were actually going missing in Colombia because rings of gangs were using women to lure these passport bros in through dating websites. They would drug these men and steal from them. And a lot of these men died in the drugging process. And that is literally the worst case scenario. Best case scenario is you marry her, you take her back to the US or UK or wherever you're from, and she divorces you within a set amount of time, gets her passport and leaves for someone who's in her age range, someone that she's really attracted to. And just to be 100% clear, I do not have a problem with men, women, whoever, dating or marrying outside their borders. That is not a problem. But I have a problem with people who do it for the wrong reasons to exploit vulnerable groups of people. And then have the audacity to encourage others to do the same.
Growing up in the Philippines, you see passport bros all the time. All the time. It's like normalized. Minsan pa nga pag may ating nakapangasawa ng AFAM, sinasabi nila, isang Pilipino na naman ang nakaahon sa hirap. Pero pag nakadating ka na sa Amerika, makikita mo talaga na hindi pantay ang tingin nila sa atin. Unfortunately, I'm literally holding your hand when I say this. At ang masasabi ko lang sa mga ate ko at sa mga tita ko na mag-aafam dyan, always, always, always have an exit plan. Hindi lang para sa'yo, para din sa mga bata. Relationships like that have a clear power dynamic. You are not in an even playing field. That means we don't have to tolerate it, but we owe it to ourselves to be informed.
The passport bros ain't gonna like this one. Y'all are legit slaying me in these comments, because how many of these men, like American men, are now waking up to the fact that it's not only this perception of black women being gold diggers, now it's extending to other groups of American women in general. So now they're going overseas to go and find a wife thinking that those women aren't going to be concerned with their pockets too. And immediately no. You're an American going overseas thinking that you're going to find a docile, submissive wife and you're going to do it without her running your pockets. You think you're going to do that? Go over there, not bring any resources, and think you're going to find a woman that's going to be feminine, fit, friendly, submissive, all those things? It is, oh my God, I'm like cracking up.
Yep. Remember, men who can afford women in their own country don't look outside of it. Okay? Or they look outside of it to exploit you. Remember that. If a man is a loser in his own country, why do you want him? That's my question. If he can't get a woman where he is, there's something wrong. Okay? Because America has lots of women. That don't require a plane ticket. Okay, so just understand there's something off. A Western woman is expensive, exactly. And do you know what guys say about women on the other side of the world or in other countries? You should go.
Nurses talk. Okay, nurses talk. I don't care if you're a tech, CNA, LPN, LVN, RN, NP, regional nurse, doctor. Healthcare talks. Okay? And one thing what we are now hearing is that these so-called passport bros are coming back HIV positive. So that video that you see these men smiling and gleaming from ear to ear, happy that these so-called beautiful women want them and willing to do any and everything for them, go over there and have any nasty, dirty deed they ever want done, is coming back HIV positive. So that welcoming party is welcoming you to the world of AIDS. They don't want to talk about that though. They don't want to get involved in all of that. But us nurses, we talk. We may not say your name, but situation, yeah, passport bros. Some of them coming back HIV positive. What? Are you serious? Yeah, we talk, honey. Coming back over here with shit, with a gift that keeps on giving. If you see anyone with a bottle of Batavi in their medicine cabinet, that is HIV medication. I gotta go.
I saw this video about this passport brother who met a girl over in the Philippines. He was digging her, so he decided to sell his home and move over to the Philippines to be with her or live with her. Now, he wasn't working or anything, but he figured because the cost of living over there was a lot lower, he can just live off his savings. So he got over there, everything was going fine, but his money started running low. And sooner or later, his money just ran out. Now, he didn't want to get a job over there because they don't pay anything. So he goes to his girlfriend, tell her he's out of money. Before he can say the word money, she already had her bags packed and she was out the door. So now this man had two options. He can figure out how to make enough money to fly back to America just to be homeless, or he can stay in the Philippines and be homeless. He chose to stay in the Philippines, so now he's living on the streets in the Philippines. Now, I share this story to say there are a lot of men out there who believe that these women in different countries are like God sent, or they're like special or anointed or something like that. Yes, these women do know how to take care of their men, because a lot of these women were taught how to be wives, but they're still women. Those women do that stuff because they're planning for you to take care of them. You think they like American men because they look better? No, they want these American men who come over there because they're coming over there to take care of them. And this man, for whatever reason, forgot that. He thought she was going to be like, oh, well, you're going broke? No big deal. I'll take care of you. No, man. She was with you because you were taking care of her. Stop putting these women on a pedestal like they're different from anybody else. They are women. And if you can't do what they want, they're going to do the same thing this young lady did. It isn't about loyalty. It is about what you can do for them. So any of you men out there who's planning on getting a passport and going to another country, I personally don't have a problem with that. I don't think I'm ever going to do it. But if you're going to do that, you better have a game plan together. Don't just pack your bags and fly over there thinking that everything's going to be good. Those women are still women. And to be honest with you, you'll have a better chance of losing your job and a woman in America staying with you than you will having a woman overseas stay with you. I'm just saying.
You know, the real reason why a lot of men be on this passport bro facade, this passport bro energy, is because a lot of you're a failure. You're a failure. You failed in your homeland, and you know you don't have it in you to do right by a woman over here in the States. So you run overseas to fulfill your incel perverted desires. That's what you do. You run overseas to fulfill your sexual incel lustful desires. Because let's be honest, I know this is going to ruffle some feathers, but it's not like a lot of y'all men are marrying these women anyway. You're not going over there marrying these women in droves, committing to them and doing right by them. No, you're not. You may get a one-off here or there every now and then. But the real reason why a lot of y'all men with this passport bro energy is because why do you think a lot of these men don't say nothing about sex trafficking? They're able to go over there and have access to these women that's being trafficked. And I know it's going to bother some of y'all, but it's the God honest truth. Whether they're of age, underage, if her body looks developed a certain type of way, well, that's enough identification for me. So she look older than 18. That's your identification. that you use. And that's the sickening thing. That's why a lot of men don't say anything about a lot of women being, disappearing and stuff like that, because they're able to go over there and have access to these type of women. Just because a woman is walking around in some of these third world countries and they're smiling and they may look like they're free and they're roaming around, a lot of these women that's being trafficked, they have somebody to report to, if you know what I mean, at the end of the day, and to hand over their money to. So, yeah, a lot of these men, they know that. So, ladies, all of y'all over here in the States, stop feeling like, these men, you got to step your game up and these women are better than you and all this other. No, it's not. A lot of these women are being preyed on because they're being trafficked. A lot of you men are perverted failures. That's what you are, perverted failures.
Yeah, I always make reference to my uncles who used to come back home when I was a younger girl in Ghana, who would come there with their passports, lie about the kind of work they do abroad. Most of them were cleaners and dishwashers, and there's nothing wrong with it if that's your job, They sell this lie about living a good life abroad. They have wives abroad who have children with them. They carry their money from their wives and themselves. They bring it, they buy lands, they start building, and then they go after young girls in Ghana. Some of them impregnate, some of them end up marrying them traditionally, having them live in their houses that they are building, so they'll take care of those houses for them. And then it's a whole lot of mess. It's a whole lot of mess. And then they keep the ladies abroad. They keep them there. They never bring them home. Their children never come home. Nobody knows them, but they are abroad. But then they have wives back home and they have children back home. They lie about everything. And I believe that's the same with these passport bros that go to the Dominicans and all that. That's the same thing. Most of them will have children here with other women who they are not caring for, giving child support to. They lie about being single and those women being bad women and so on and so forth. Yeah, karma is a bitch. You're going to pay for it somehow. And some of them are single, but then they also go there with the same intention. Oh, I'm going to get married to this lady. I'm going to bring her here. And then she comes here and you start abusing her. You start mistreating her because you brought her here. And then sooner or later, she also realizes, it's all not worth it. She ends up getting a document. She can leave you or she can go back to her country. So now you come back, take that flight and come and meet me and my family. Because the truth is, you isolate her now. You take her from the place that she knows of. You carry her all the way to the West where she doesn't know anybody. And then you start mistreating her. You start abusing her and so on and so forth. What do you think is going to happen? Yes, if I were her too, I'll pack my bags and go back home. So come and meet me so that you come and meet the men from my own country, my uncles and my brothers, and see how you feel. All right? Because when you were there, everybody was nice to you. But the moment you brought me here, you start mistreating me. I'm not saying that's the case, but that could be the case. And that happens a lot. Do you understand? When they feel like there's nobody there to protect you, to look out for you, there's nobody who is going to come at them, with force, because men fear men, they start mistreating you. So it could be so many reasons why she has decided to go back. She's not feeling it. It's not what you said it was. You lied about everything. You lied about your job and your earnings and so on and so forth. And she's like, is this what this is all about? I thought you were some rich guy from America. Turns out you are not. The things you promised me are not what I'm seeing. I'm going back. Maybe I can find somebody better than you. And that is also the truth. Okay? So at the end of it all, passport bros, you're going to get what is coming to you. Aside the fact that most of them are already coming back with a bunch of diseases. I saw these nurses talking about it. I'll probably insert one of the videos from the nurses into the clips. Most of them are coming back with diseases. Okay? And on top of that, they are leaving children behind. And then the ones that they end up marrying to, they bring them here and they start abusing them. So if at this point, if even the most submissive women are seeing fault in you and they are running away from you, I'm sorry, but it's time you start looking in the mirror. The problem is not all these women. The problem is you. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here and I'll see you again in another video. Take care of yourselves and one another. Bye.